This is just AMZN on Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. So I'm zoomed out a bit here, looking at what happened on Tuesday and what happened on Wednesday. There's some similarities. Obviously, we didn't just continue dropping as quickly. We weren't so far below the 21. We were up, and so the 21 had to retrace. And then we went sideways. We made a really nice triangle in here, um, kind of towards the middle part of the day here. And you can draw this a little different ways, a little slight up angle from yesterday or kind of more sideways. I do really like this angle here. Oops. This angle here. I can't draw it straight. Maybe I should do these videos earlier and get more practice drawing. Hey, there we go. All right. So kind of apex up here, didn't quite get back up to that level with this retest, but close, and then it just continued on down. But for most of the day, it looked like we were going to have an inside day candle on the daily. So we have had 3 days. This is the fourth day in a row now. No, third day in a row now. Lower highs and lower lows. So we had 6 higher highs and higher lows on the way up. Then this day is where things change. So 1, 2, 3. Here we are. 5 days of selling. I just have a feeling we're going to get a bullish candle here soon. I was actually thinking today would be an inside day, and then we'd have some sort of bounce. Like I thought we'd start to form this right shoulder. That's what I talked about the other day, and we actually continued down a little further. So, back over here, we put in 5 bullish days, had a really small bearish day. So we keep getting into these kind of directional moves. We went sideways all through here, and then we got directional again, but a mix of bearish and bullish candles. So here we are going bearish, but only 3 days in a row out of these 5 have been lower highs and lower lows. So anyway, the lower low came in the last half hour, last 35, 40 minutes of the day, something like that. So yeah, that's what actually put in the lower low on the day. Didn't quite get all the way back up to the red line or the blue line, didn't quite get all the way back down to the red line or the blue line. We're kind of in the middle here. We definitely retested or at least slowed down in this middle zone. I talked about that. We're kind of right here in the middle of these two. And that was our apex again today. So you can see kind of this is where it started to break down. Man, this breakdown was phenomenal. It was just ever so slightly too big of a candle. But this is what I was looking to get in at 10 and a stop at 9. And I didn't have it set up on this candle. I wanted to wait for a retest. With how sideways this was, I wanted to break down. Let me zoom in on this a little more now that we talked about yesterday's range. So right in here, it starts to break down. I was looking for this retest, didn't quite come down as far as I wanted. It came back down to 11. I really wanted it to tag 10 down here and to get in at 10 and a stop at 9 and run up to 13. And in this case, it would probably be another one like Monday where I would have actually canceled that 3R target, moved it up to 8R, which would have actually filled over here and gotten my stop at 13, which could have happened after this candle. It didn't come back down enough, at least on the printed values, the actual trade levels. Something could have possibly wicked down if there was an open order at to sell at 13. I'm sorry, a stop at 13, not just any old order, because a limit, a sell limit would just get you out at whatever the price is, because it's above 13. So it's different than a target order. It's got to be a stop order, and it didn't print a value to come down to 13. But if the spread was there, it's possible. Anyway, didn't retest far enough here to come all the way back down. But then, this candle just it obliterated that what would have been that range. So this candle itself was 3R. So it is actually tough to respond to those candles quickly enough. But even this one side, this was kind of showing up, setting up to be one of those days you could just about buy the increments of $1. So could have been buying here at 8, here at 9, didn't quite get into the 10, here at 11, didn't quite do 12 or 13, could have done 14 like this, 13.99 in these lows. 14 came down to 1350 here. So like looking at those whole numbers, even if you did every other, except I guess maybe 9, 11, then not 13, I don't know. But just looking at round numbers, I mean, and this is the 3250 put. So it's like we're getting close to, we're near the money. We're still out of the money, but we're near the money, not at the money yet either. And then also looking at, so I'm looking at the 3350 call, which is funny because I was talking about the 3350 put on Monday that I got stopped out of, and then it ran without me. I'm kind of interested to see what that's worth now, but I don't really want to look. So maybe I'll look off the camera or off recording and see where that put is actually at. Because I mean, it's got to be a lot right now. Anyway, this broke down again. Similarly, got a retest. Didn't quite retest up as much. Didn't quite tag these lows, but I do like that. You know, all this is the signal you need to say, okay, this is broken down. You know, we were making new lows on the option. You're retracing. Doesn't quite get back up to your lows. Continue on lower. You know, so that's the confluence. When you're seeing that happen on the call, you're seeing the opposite happen on the put. You're seeing the breakdown happen on the stock itself. That's the confluence, and it's looking for those values. And if this is too expensive, go out a little further. So if you go out to 32.25, you see not great volume. So I was looking at this at one point. It's like, man, this has low volume all day. I'm taking additional risk of the possibility of getting some sort of like a strange move or wick or something. It's like there's not enough volume here. If I were to get stopped out, probably big slippage, that kind of thing. And then 3200 is just a little further away. Probably would have been doable. Volume is better than 3325. And this actually would have reached, so again, didn't retest all the way back down to what would have been like that apex level, but was kind of within half an hour of that. So the low here below 450. So this could have been a nice setup, 450 by 350, and pretty easily gotten from 450 up to 850. I'm sorry, up to 750. That would have been over here for a 3-hour move. And that actually would have lined up really well with the earlier high of the day. The option just saying, yeah, that's a good place to get out. And this is one where you wouldn't have wanted to move the target up to 8R and just held that 3R target. So, you know, these are things to look at. If you feel like you're missing it, or if you feel like this is getting kind of expensive, you know, too big of a range, go to another strike that's a little further away. This one was too far away for where I wanted to be trading it. The range we had in the day, you know, this being Wednesday, I just wanted to be a bit closer to, you know, kind of where this sideways was. Even get the squeeze coming in, and was starting to roll over through here too. So, but yeah, was looking pretty bearish. It did throw in some of these lower wicks, which at one point I was thinking, could this just wick down and trap some folks and then go? And it's like, okay, once this came in, it's like, nope, this is continuing. I'm bearish. And then it went sideways for so long. It's like, oh man, that's a really good continuation. Again, didn't come back up to the 21 till over here. Most of the day, most of the day after that breakdown, and we stayed below the 21. So we really need to hold above the 21 solidly. Like if we do something like this tomorrow where we gap up and come down to the 21, then we really need to hold or start to bounce. So we can do something sideways, kind of treading through it here. But we really need to get that breakout. We need to get above it and hold above it for it to have any sort of move back up here, even to have like a positive day, you know, a bullish looking candle day. I don't think I mentioned this yesterday, but we do have a squeeze forming on the daily. It was back here that we had the last one. And so, I mean, we could still come down some more. This histogram is still losing bullish momentum. So everything's kind of resetting here, but it necessarily hasn't gone sideways enough, but it's back into a range of where we're not so far above where this squeeze activated and we pushed way up here. Now we're coming back into where the Keltner channel is catching up to where the Bollinger Bands have now slowed down a little bit more. So that's what the squeeze is actually tracking. So Anyway, hope this helps. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.